Why does it feel like no matter how much you tidy, your home just never looks like the ones you see online? You clean, you organize, you maybe buy a few new things, and somehow it still feels cluttered, still feels small, still feels like something's off and you can't quite put your finger on what. And before you say it, no, you don't need a bigger place. Because here's the thing. Most small spaces don't have a size problem. They have a strategy problem, and once you know the difference, everything changes. We've all been there. You spend the entire weekend tidying up, and by Monday morning, the space feels just as crowded as it did before. And if you have kids, you're lucky if that lasts an hour. It's exhausting. Your apartment isn't failing you because it's tiny, it's failing you because it's not working for you. And that's actually good news because it means the fix isn't moving, it's designing. So in this video, I'm walking you through 4 strategies that will completely change how your space works. Think vertically, make your furniture work harder, design forgotten spaces, and optimize storage from the inside out. If this is what you've been looking for, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because we have so many tips and tricks to share. So really quickly before we start, if you've ever wanted to try out a layout change before actually committing to it, Planner 5D is the tool for that. You can recreate your floor plan, rearrange furniture, test storage configurations, all in 3D before you move a single thing. I'll be showing Planner 5D examples throughout this video so that you can see exactly what these strategies look like in practice. If you want to try it out, there is a pro trial where you can test out all of the amazing features for free, and the link's in the description. All right, let's get started. Here's the most fundamental mistake people make when moving into a small apartment. They look at the floor plan like a flat map. They obsess over the square footage, trying to Tetris their lives into this tiny 2-dimensional footprint. But once they change their mindset, that changes literally everything. You've got to stop thinking in terms of floor plans and start thinking in terms of volume. In a small home, the most valuable real estate isn't on the floor. It's the airspace above your head. We live exclusively in the bottom 6 feet of our rooms, leaving a massive empty dead zone stretching from the top of the furniture all the way to the ceiling. You know that gap between the top of your kitchen cabinets and the ceiling? The one that's collected about 3 years of dust and a possibly forgotten cereal box? That's not a design choice, that's a missed opportunity and it's everywhere. The most effective way to reclaim that dead zone is full-height cabinetry. Extending those units all the way up does more than give you a place for the giant crockpot you use only once a year. It creates a cleaner, more architectural look that draws the eye upward, making the ceiling feel higher than it actually is. And this works everywhere, not just in the kitchen. Floor-to-ceiling wardrobes eliminate those awkward, dusty storage bins you tend to pile on top. And tall, wall-mounted shelving in the living room gives you a beautiful place for books and decor rather than scattered around. When you redistribute your belongings vertically, you're literally lifting the weight off of the room, freeing up the lower areas so your floor plan feels lighter and more open. Now, when you start building upward, you'll hit a choice. What do you hide and what do you show? Open shelving can look incredible online, but in a real-life small apartment, too much of it becomes visual noise fast. If every vertical inch is covered in open clutter, the room starts to feel like it's closing in on you, and the eye has nowhere to rest. That's why closed storage on the vertical plane is so powerful. Full-height cabinets with solid doors create visual calm. They give your eye a flat, clean surface to rest on and hide the everyday chaos behind a sleek facade. The strategy is simple. Curate the open, hide the rest. A few open shelves for things you love to look at, and full-height closed cabinetry doing the heavy lifting for everything else. Instead of expanding outward and eating into your floor space, you're expanding upward. For most small apartments, that's the only direction you'll ever need to go. Here's a problem that shows up in almost every small apartment I've ever seen. Your furniture takes up significantly more space than it gives back. We tend to look at our homes as a collection of single-purpose objects. The sofa is for sitting, the bed is for sleeping, the coffee table is just there to hold a coffee. They're all necessary, but because each one of them only does one thing, they're essentially passive. They sit there, taking up valuable floor space, while everything else in your life, your clothes, your tech, your hobby gear, fights for whatever's left. And that's exactly where the downward spiral starts. When you run out of places for things, the instinct isn't to look at what you already have. It's to add more. Another cabinet, another shelf, more baskets in the corner. Before you know it, the room feels claustrophobic, not because it's small, but because there are too many separate elements all competing for the same floor space. The problem was never how much furniture you own, it's how much the furniture is actually doing for you. Sound familiar? The overflowing basket in the corner, the extra bookshelf that somehow made everything worse, the stack of things on the floor that was supposed to be temporary. That's not a clutter problem, it's a furniture problem, and it's completely solvable. The secret to mastering a small footprint isn't living with nothing. It's demanding more from what you already have. Take the bedroom. Usually you cram in a bed, then scramble to find room for a dresser. But when you choose a bed with built-in drawers or a hydraulic lift-up frame, you've eliminated the need for that extra piece entirely. 2 footprints consolidated into 1. The same logic applies to a kitchen island that's not just a prep surface, but also comes equipped with storage, or a wardrobe that opens up to reveal a built-in desk, turning a storage nook into a proper workspace. When storage is built directly into the furniture you already need, the room stops being an obstacle and starts being a solution. Most people try to fix a storage problem by adding more furniture, which ironically makes a room feel smaller. But when every piece earns its spot, something shifts. The room stops feeling cluttered and starts feeling considered, clean, efficient, and perfectly tailored to the way you actually live. You don't need more square feet. You just need your furniture to work as hard as you do. See how much floor space opens up when the bed does double duty. That's not a smaller room, that's a smarter one. In almost every small apartment, there's a hidden goldmine of square footage that goes completely unnoticed. The deep corners, that awkward gap next to the fridge, the void under the bed, the back of the closet door. Because these spots aren't at eye level or in our path of travel, we treat them like they don't exist. But while they sit empty, the visible parts of your home are working overtime. Bookshelves are double stacked, kitchen counters are disappearing under stuff, and you're probably thinking about buying another dresser. There's a massive imbalance, certain zones doing 150% of the work while the other areas do literally nothing. And that's often the hidden difference between an apartment that feels like a chaotic storage locker and one that feels like a considered high-end studio. The fix is to stop looking for new space and start designing for the space you've already been ignoring. You have to look at your floor plan like a puzzle, where every gap is a piece of the solution. Take under the bed area. That's massive prime real estate. If you're not using low-profile bins or a lift-up bed frame for bulky seasonal gear or extra linens, you're paying rent on storage you're not using. Then look at the spots most people completely overlook. Corners. Instead of letting a corner collect dust, anchor it with a custom floating shelf. A dead angle becomes a main focal point. Narrow gaps. That 6-inch space between the washer and the wall might be perfect for a slim pull-out pantry or a rolling cart. The back of the door. It's not just a door, it's a vertical storage grid for shoes, accessories, or cleaning supplies. And the space above your kitchen cabinets deserves its own mention. If you're unable to extend them to the ceiling, most people either leave it completely empty or pile random things up there that they immediately forget about and collect dust. A few matching baskets or boxes up there, and suddenly it looks curated rather than chaotic. You don't need to knock down walls, you just need to shift perspective. When you distribute storage intentionally across these overlooked zones, you take the pressure off of the rest of the room. Surfaces clear, shelves breathe, the whole apartment starts to feel balanced and controlled. Before, this corner was just empty space. After, it's doing a real job without touching anything else in the room. Even when you've got the right furniture and the right layout, there's still one more way it can go wrong. The storage itself doesn't function properly. Drawers become chaotic junk collectors, cabinets get overfilled to the point of being dangerous to open, items get stacked on top of each other with no structure, pushed so far back of a deep shelf that they effectively cease to exist. And here's what that leads to. You start thinking you need even more storage. When in reality, the problem is that your existing storage isn't working for you. You see this in most kitchens, wardrobes, and bathrooms. Spaces that technically have enough cubic feet, but still feel cluttered because everything inside is a tangled mess. When you can't see what you own, you tend to forget you own it, and that's where the feeling of being overwhelmed really starts. You know that one drawer, everyone has one, the one you open slightly, realize it's a complete disaster, and then quietly close it again. Or the cabinet you have to brace yourself before opening because something is definitely gonna fall out? That's not a space problem, that's a system problem, and it's completely fixable. The real transformation happens when you stop looking at the outside of your furniture and start organizing it from the inside. Instead of dreaming about adding more cabinets, focus on how the ones you already have are being used. Think of it as creating internal architecture for your belongings, dividers, trays, and compartment systems that give every single item, no matter how small, a defined and permanent home. You want to move away from the stacking method and towards the access method. Pull-out shelves and internal organizers mean you can reach the very back of a cabinet without moving 5 other things first. Add vertical organizers for lids and baking sheets, tiered spice racks so you can read every single label at once, and drawer dividers to stop your kitchen utensils from turning into one big tangle. In the wardrobe, it's category-based compartments, uniform hangers, and shelf risers that effectively double your usable space inside the closet. These changes don't increase the physical volume of your storage, but they massively increase your usable capacity. When the inside is structured and efficient, you stop using your external surfaces as overflow. Counters stay clear, tables stay empty. The whole apartment finally starts to feel calm, controlled, and genuinely spacious. Same cabinet, completely different experience. And that's what internal architecture does. Before you go, here's a quick audit to see how much hidden potential is still waiting in your apartment. Just yes or no, and it's 6 questions. Do your cabinets or wardrobe reach all the way to the ceiling? Does your furniture, like your bed or sofa, double as storage? Are the insides of your drawers organized so that you can actually see what's inside them? Are you using the dead zones? Under the bed, awkward corners? Can you look at your kitchen right now and see clear open surfaces? If you needed a spare battery or a specific document, could you find it in under 30 seconds? If you answered no to more than 3 of these, don't worry. That just means you've got a lot of room to grow. Your apartment isn't too small. It's just waiting for you to unlock it. At the end of the day, your apartment should be the place where you come to recharge, not another thing to manage. You don't need more square feet to feel at home. You just need a better strategy. When you start looking up at the full height of your walls, when your furniture pulls its weight, when you finally reclaim those forgotten corners, and when the inside of your storage actually makes sense, everything changes. Your home stops feeling like a storage unit and starts feeling like a sanctuary. The goal was never just about hiding your stuff. It was about giving your space and yourself some room to breathe. You don't need a bigger floor plan to live a bigger life. You just need to make the space you have work as hard as you do. If this was helpful, like and subscribe. It really does make a difference for our channel. And drop a comment telling me which strategy you're gonna try first. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.